welcome to another edition of Wild Wednesday. This is Lisa, the naturalist at John James Audubon State Park. And today I have a question for you. If I showed you some items like this cardboard tube, this aluminum can, a plastic bottle, and some newspaper, could you figure out what these things have in common? I hope you're thinking they're items that can be recycled. If you recycle at home or at your place of work, you probably understand that those items you would normally throw away are going to go to a recycle center. The recycle center then in turn sends those items out to be processed, where they'll be taken apart and made into a new item. So for example, if you take a plastic bottle like this one, and especially a plastic cap, those items can be made into something completely new, like the bench that I'm sitting on. Okay, so I have another question for you. If I showed you a piece of wood and some branches and twigs and say a pile of leaves or seeds, what would you think about these items? Well, I hope you're still thinking about recycling, because nature recycles too. Except when you talk about nature recycling, we usually call it something different. We call it decomposition. As we take a look around our woods here at Audubon, I see a lot of things that nature has discarded. Trees have fallen down, branches litter the ground, there are leaves, lots of things on the forest floor. You know what? It's all nature's way of recycling. It's all in progress. If we did not have decomposition, the things that nature discards would pile up. Just imagine all the trash at your house if no one ever collected it or took it away. Throughout their lives, plants collect water up through their roots, and along with that water comes nutrients from the soil, the vitamins and minerals that a plant uses to stay healthy and grow. Now, if we talk about trees for a second, trees use those nutrients to produce new bark and wood, branches and leaves, their seeds and fruits and things. But at the end of that plant's life, for example, if this tree would happen to fall and it lays on the forest floor for a while, the wood still contains all the nutrients that were inside that tree when it was alive. Now here's where nature's recycling comes in. With the help of some other things, this wood is going to put those nutrients back into the soil, essentially creating brand new soil for more plants to take over. Now, these logs that we're looking at, this one covered in moss helps keep it moist, and that creates a good environment where a seed from another plant could actually start to grow there. And a lot of our animals and insects like a moist place. There's also a little help that comes in from fungus. Fungus will attach itself to an old log, and as it absorbs the nutrients out of the wood, the fungus roots, mycelium, transport themselves throughout the wood, and that helps break it down into smaller pieces. We also start to see insects that move inside the log, perhaps carpenter ants or bark beetles, earthworms, millipedes. Here's a piece of wood that was carved by bark beetles. You can see how they dig and gnaw their way through. And as these insects are moving through the logs, that also helps to break it down. So eventually you end up with new soil in your forest. When you talk about nature recycling, you have to understand it's a very slow process. But one fun way to see recycling in action is to roll over a log that's been on the forest floor for a while. Now, before I do this, I do think about safety a little bit. I am going to check the area around me. There could be some plants that I don't want to get a rash from, like perhaps poison ivy. I'm always going to pay attention to where my hands are. And then there is a possibility there could be an animal hiding under this log that I don't want to contact. So I'm going to pull the log towards me, and that way if there is an animal that would like to escape, it can go that way. So I'm going to see what might be hiding under this log today. I have found a few things here under this log. I've got a millipede. I'll hang on to that. And let's look some more. Oh, here's a snail shell. I'm just going to very gently dig through underneath where this log was to see if there's any other creatures hiding. I do want to make sure to roll my log back into place. Here are a few of the decomposers I've found. Millipedes, earthworms, sowbugs, glowworms, and snail. Something else that's fun to do after you've looked through your fallen log is to collect a few specimens for race time. I've made a racetrack. Looks a lot like a target, but you can do this at home too. You just need a clean piece of paper and a marker, and then some round objects that you can trace a circle, different sizes, so that you can get nice circles on your page. And I wrote start here in the middle, and I put the winner's circle all around the outside, and I'll show you what's next. So one of the things I found in the fallen log and in the leaf litter, helping to decompose everything, was a woodlouse. Now sometimes we call them different things. You might call them sowbugs, or if they're able to roll up, we might refer to them as roly-polies. I kept a couple of these, so now it's time for sowbug races. Are you ready for this? Okay, so I've got my sowbugs in the starting gate here, and they are ready to go. I'm going to see who makes it to the winner's circle first. Sowbug races. Go, go, go! Ooh, we've got one fast out of the gate. The other guy's not even moving yet. Let's go, let's go! Winner! Join me again next week for another edition of Wild Wednesday.